Okay, tomorrow I'm wearing flat shoes, I swear. Thank you so much, Benjamin. Well done to be on time. Brandon Murphy, oh my gosh, hi. How are you?
Good, yeah.
Brandon is like a fan favorite here at SurreyCon, and every time he talks, it's like his voice. I swear, you should be a radio personality or something. Anyway, here's Brandon.
Not a Mac. It's worse. Oh, maybe okay. I have to find my mouse. Um, 11, right? Magic. All right, cool. So I'm Brandon Murphy, work at ET, and today I want to talk to you about metadata tags and how ET uses them and how you can use them to effectively tune your rule set. So there is a little bit of previous work from David Horton. He presented on this topic, in Amsterdam. It's a really good talk. He presented on Better, which is a schema for metadata tags, establishes some rules about what type of content should be in them and how to structure it and all that. And then he also created a Python script called Aristotle, which will allow you to generate statistics on those tags, as well as output a rule set using metadata tags as filters for your rules. So there's 100% previous work. That's great work. So I think of tuning a rule set at a very high level initially, and I think about the concept of network flows. And so here, oh, by the way, shout out to whoever made this network diagram. I totally just pulled it off Google. But here we can see a flow of the internet coming into a DMZ, and this is a vastly different flow than our users going out to the internet. And so when we run Suricata with a rule set, it's very important to tune that rule set to the traffic that's being observed by that sensor. On the inbound type traffic, we're mostly going to be concerned with exploitation type signatures and vulnerable applications, things of that nature. And then on our outbound, we're mostly going to be looking for malware, exfiltration attempts, unusual outbound connections, et cetera. So these are two vastly different rule sets that could be used. And so being able to tune those rule sets will not only reduce false positives, give you better definition of like your home net variables, things like that, but of course help out with the performance of the sensor as you run less rules. So metadata has been around for a long time, and this is from the README, or the read the docs, and it's pretty well free form, but it does follow a key value comma separated pair, or key value comma separated list, I guess. So that's what they look like. Better from David Horton does establish some rules about that. We kind of follow Better, but not really. Metadata tags are very useful in logs. They appear in logs for an alert. So here's an example of Redline Stealer, and you can see the metadata tags that are associated with that affected product, attack target, created at, deployment, etc. And so I'll kind of go over some of these tags and how you can better use them. So when I started thinking about what metadata tags that ET produces that are applicable to rule set tuning. It's kind of made the short list here. So attack target, signature severity, deployment, performance impact, and confidence. I'll briefly touch on two of them. Attack target's pretty generic. We try to describe a little bit about what type of like an exploit it is, or if it's malware, client endpoint, etc. But deployment is a very interesting one. In particular, we do try to find, or I should say, like match our rules with where we think that they should generally be deployed. So as an example, on that outbound users to internet traffic, we're going to call that perimeter. And the SSL decrypt deployment is very particular in the fact that we will assign that metadata tag to rules which have been created to specifically detect traffic that has been decrypted. And so We expect the traffic to be encrypted, so if you're not doing TLS decryption, disabling the SSL decrypt tags would be a really good idea and a quick performance win. We just introduced confidence very recently, so as we continue to roll out new rules, or if we get a lot of false positives and it's a rule that we can't really tune any further for whatever reason, then we'll assign that confidence to low, or if we're very confident, we've got a Flowbit SIGs, kind of a really good chain. If this alert fires, we know that we have a high level of confidence, then we'll try to assign those. So our anticipation is not to go back and retroactively apply these to rules that have already been written, but we do want to try to use those moving forward. So very recently, Jason made a pull request against Suricata Update, which will allow you to enable, I shouldn't say enable, but allow you to filter and make decisions based on those metadata tags. And so it's a pull request right now. I forget, there's something else still required, which is why it's a PR and has yet to be merged. But I did pull down this branch and was able to run it, and it worked quite well. So here it's just metadata for your filter. So this is the example. I'll show you this one as well. So I created a disable.conf, very simple, metadata, and then we are going to use the deployment key, and anything with SSL decrypt, we'll use this as our disable conf. So this will disable any rule that has SSL decrypt metadata deployment tag. And so when I did that on the ET open rule set, it disabled 663 SIGs. Yeah, that's a pretty good win, in my opinion. And so it should allow you to very easily use the output command of Suricata Update, and you can kind of stack and use these filters to create the rule set that's best tuned for that high-level flow of the traffic that you're inspecting, and hopefully get those a lower false positive rate and a little bit better performance. And that's my presentation. I do request, if you have any questions or comments about rules, please send us feedback at feedback.emergingthreats.net. I'll take any questions.
Thanks a lot for your usage of metadata. That's just awesome. On the slide 3, you were showing a list of metadata that as you see them in the alerts. And yes.
Yeah.
So the first one is the frustrating miss in Slong. And I just realized now why. Because you've got a list of potential suspect, affected product.
Yeah.
And then you've got one single string. In fact, you can do affected product Windows XP, affected product Vista, affected product 7, affected product 8, and then we got a list so we can do better matching.
Yeah, so I think that would be applicable to some rules, like malware that's just Windows based. Yeah, maybe we can just say Windows, right? But yeah, it's fair feedback. Cool, thanks.